Hello and welcome to this Dittmer Knittery video. My name is Maybelline and I love you.
Hello and welcome to Dittmer Knittery. I want you to come in the kitchen with me today where I have a pot of water hot on the stove and a bag ready for hot water felting. Come on, let's get started. I'm going to hot water felt this knitted wool bag today. I thought I'd take a few minutes to share it with you before I put it in the hot water. This is a hand knitted bag using Patton's roving wool, which it's not actually a roving, of course, but it is it is not spun, so it does create this lovely, almost roving effect. And in this bag, I've used this cream color and 3 different colors of kind of a bluish aqua. And you see the main part of the bag is stockinette stitch, and then the sides are garter stitch. And I have also knitted a strap for it. And it has a pocket inside. This is the inside of the bag showing the pocket and the knitted strap. I-cord knitted strap. So this bag is ready for hot water. The water is heating on the stove, and hopefully by lunchtime, I've just eaten breakfast. Hopefully by lunchtime I will have a felted bag. Of course it will still be wet, but I should be able to complete the felting process this morning. I have the bag in the felting pot, I have my rubber gloves, a bar of olive oil soap, and a wooden spoon for poking when it's too hot to put my rubber gloved hands in the water. And it's time to felt this bag. First, put in the water. Have water I've been heating on the stove. I'm going to pour right in here onto this bag. You want enough water to completely submerge and wet the bag, but you don't want too much water because it's just not needed. If you were to fill up the whole pot, that would be more water than you needed, and you might waste some water. So I don't use these pots for anything but this felting process, of course. And this is way too hot to work with, so I'm using my wooden spoon just to poke it down into the water, and then I'm going to let it sit for 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long it takes for the water to cool off enough for me to comfortably work with it with my rubber gloves on. When I was showing this bag before I put it in the hot water, before I poured the hot water on it, I said that these stitches were stockinette stitch, which it is, but to achieve that look, I used slip stitches to have the colors alternate like they did, the white and blue and white and blue. And I don't remember exactly what I did, but I started knitting. I don't use a pattern. I started knitting, and I liked the effect of what I was doing, and so I just continued to make the bag that way. And like I said, I know I achieved this look with slip stitches. And now it's time to hot water felt this bag. A bar of ordinary olive oil soap, nothing special. plain hot water and wool yarn. Has to be wool to felt. And so I will agitate it like this with the soap and water until the water gets cool or until my arms get tired. And then I will heat up more water and do this again until the bag becomes totally felted. Now you can see the first thing that happens is when it gets wet, it gets big and stretchy. So I take a little care at first, try not to stretch it, slosh it around, get it started felting. And you can handle it more aggressively later in the process, but right now I'm going to handle it pretty gingerly. Just a little light agitation. You don't want to concentrate on one area of the bag. You want to just treat it as a whole thing. And this is a rather large bag. It will take some time to complete the felting process. And like I said, I work in stages as to 10 or 15 minutes that it takes for my hands and arms to get tired and the water to cool off. And then I take a break, let the water heat up again, and felt some more. So it could take half a day or most of the day just because I'm letting it rest in between times, and then while the water is heating and while the bag is resting, I'm doing other things like housework or knitting on the machine or crocheting something else or playing with my pets. Today I do have a project on the machine, just a very small project that I'm working on. In between working on this, I'm also hand knitting a pocket for another bag that I've knitted. So I have plenty of fun artsy things going on today. You can see that the stitches are beginning to get fuzzy. That's the beginning of the felting process. Is it already has a little bit of a different appearance than it did before we put water on it. There's the pocket. I like to turn it inside out and just check to make sure that the pocket is not felting to the fabric of the bag, which usually does not happen, but it's a problem if it does, so it's worth checking on. Kind of look at where I've sewn the pocket on and see if those stitches are beginning to felt, and they are. Like there's no gaps. It all looks good. It all looks to me like the pocket is sewn well in place. The bag is going to felt well. I can tell by how it's already starting to get a little bit fuzzy. Don't need a lot of soap. You can always add more if you like. I like it to be a little sudsy. Straps are sewn on, so they should just felt right along with the bag. I might check occasionally to make sure they're lying flat. And just keep felting, agitating. And like I said, as the process goes along, you can felt with more vigor. And I feel confident now that I have a good bag that's in the felting process. Again, it will take some time. It takes patience and time. So I'm just going to continue to agitate. Try not to wring it or stretch it. It's okay to squeeze it. Again, try to felt it as a whole object, not concentrate on one area or another, especially at this point. Later on, you might see something that needs a little extra attention, but right now, it's a whole thing that we're felting, and let's treat it as such. And you can see now that it doesn't have that stretchiness that it had at first. Like I said, be cautious at first because it can be very stretchy. But now it's past that stretchiness stage, and we can work it hard if we want to. Pleased with results so far, and I'm going to take a break. Ready to continue felting. I reheated the water. Again, I don't use these pots for anything but this purpose. So in order not to waste water, I put the same water back in the pot and heated it up again. I felt in this large pot, and then I have a smaller pot I put on the stove that I heat the water in. Very pleased with the results so far. And you can see this is a little bit of work here. One of the most common questions is, why don't you do it in the washing machine, or can you do it in the washing machine? You can put your knitted or crocheted item that's made from wool, you can put it in the washing machine to felt it and shrink it, but those results are not predictable or controllable. And I think that what is happening here is a little bit like magic, and I would like to see it happen right here in my hands. It brings me a lot of joy. Obviously, I've been doing this for quite some time. And so I do have a little bit of experience. I have tried doing it, felting in the washing machine. I did not like the results. It was very early on. And I get a lot of success doing things this way. So I continue to use and develop this technique. Learning things like you don't need to fill up the pot of water. You don't need to have a lot of water. In fact, it probably works better if you don't. It's easier to agitate without spilling water if you don't have a lot of water. And I think it agitates the bag better if there's not a lot of water. It pushes the water through it better. Just checking to see that the straps look flat, not twisted or folded. They look very nice. The pocket is felting well, the bag is felting well. But it is not completely felted and won't be for a little bit. Hard to say, but I'll know when it's done. It's hard to say how long it will take, but I will know when it's done. When there is no more stitch definition at all. All the stitches are closed, there are no holes, and it's a solid piece of fabric. Working on the pocket a little bit there. I think it's going to be just fine. Always nice to have a pocket. I think this bag is almost completely felted. I do have some more hot water for it, but what I've decided to do is rinse it in cold water and work it a little bit that way and see what I think of it, get a good look at it. It may need to go in hot water again, but sometimes at this point, the cold water rinse gives it enough of a shock that it does that final shrinking and felting. It's hardly even noticeable. That makes it feel like it's done. So here we go, in some cold water. And when I say get a good look at it, I mean, look at these places where I've sewn the straps on. They're securely felted in place. The pocket is securely felted in place. and it is felted also. So let's give it a little bit of agitation in this cold water. I really feel like I want to put it in hot water one more time. So I'm just going to work it for a minute here and then drain this cold water and put hot water in again. And then I think within a few minutes I'll feel like that it is completely felted. Oh, it looks so very nice. What do you think? Should we call it done? Or should we put it in hot water one more time? I'm going to call it done. It is fully felted. Looks fantastic. I'm so happy with these results. So the next thing I'll do is drain this cool water, rinse it in cool water a couple of more times. And then I will put it in cool, clean water one more time and add a little bit of vinegar, maybe a tablespoon of vinegar, and let it soak. This helps return the wool to its natural pH. Very happy with this. And I'll let you see it again when it gets out of all its water baths and begins to dry. But it will not change much appearance from here. I really, really like the results of all of this. Looks fantastic. It was really fun to make. I'm going to squeeze the water out of the bag, which of course there's no way I can squeeze all the water out of this bag. I can get some of it out. And then I'm going to wrap it in a towel and squeeze a little bit more water out. And I'll do that 2 or 3 times. Wrap it in a towel, squeeze some water out, and then I will lay it flat to dry for a little while, maybe a day or 2. Lay it flat to dry. It's going to take quite a bit of time for it to dry. You can put a fan on it, speed up the process, but I used to have a fan, but it broke. I don't have a fan anymore. So, and it's fine to let it air dry like that. It won't hurt anything because it's wool. It won't hurt anything for it to be dry or for it to take a few days for it to dry. But then after a couple of days, I will begin to maybe set it up and help its bottom be flat. And this one is going to have a flat, it does have a flat bottom. So I'm just wrapping the bag up in a clean, dry towel. And I will just let it sit in this towel for half an hour or so, and then I will get a dry towel, put this towel in the dryer, get a dry towel, and wrap it up again until I feel like I've squeezed some of the water out, and then I'll lay it out to dry. It will take, like I said, some time for it to dry, and I'll continue to show it to you until it's complete, but it's very near completion now. We came a long ways today, and it felted so well. I was really happy with those results. And here it is, fully felted, completed. Now, it is still wet, but this is how it's going to look when it's dry. It is finished. And yes, it has a flat bottom, and it stands up by itself. Truly a beautiful bag, a wonderful project, fun from beginning to end, and quite a satisfying result. Thank you for being with me today. That was a lot of fun, and that went very well. That's how hot water felting is supposed to go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to know more, of course, come back to my channel and watch some more videos. And I will see you again soon. Take care.